Hello, gang. We had a little button pushing problem here for a moment. Welcome to the connection, everyone, for the visit. I hope you'll join me for a half an hour so that as an enticement, as we did last week, and of course this is backwards, here's your Works Tools 20-volt Axis power saw. It's a reciprocating saw, which means you can pull this down and anyway, we're going to give this away at the end of the show to somebody, just at random. You don't have to ask anything. You don't have to answer anything. It's just that. Okay. Let's talk about turkey hunting this time. Want to? Let's talk about turkey. We could talk about fishing. I'll talk about anything you like, but there's a couple of points to be made within the realm of the turkey hunt. And, this is all O'Neill, so just let me do that. And what is it? Well, you're doing everything right so far. Okay? You're in the blind, you're covered, and everything's fine. Okay? And you've scouted, you're on some great property, you know the birds are there, everything's working out great. And what makes a difference is what you do in the last 50 seconds. Within the last minute determines whether or not you're going to get a shot at an eastern wild turkey. Now, again, permit me, the other species, especially the Rio Grande and other species, they're not anything like the eastern that will hurt your feelings. So let's talk about the eastern. That's the number one big game animal in North America. As I've said so many times before, you have to be good at, be practiced at, be cognizant of more about that and one animal than any other animal that you may hunt. Call, response, shot placement. You take him out of his ordinary practices, if you will. There's no combination that fits that, the eastern wild turkey. Okay, but let's talk about this for seconds. Let me get you into that 50 seconds. And this is not just coming from O'Neill. No. O'Neill is just a regular old hunter, just like most of you guys, but I happened to go with and talk to and hunted with some fabulous turkey hunters. Guys that had been turkey hunting for 40 years. Roscoe Reams and Dick Kirby. He's the guy who invented the Quaker Boy game call. Interesting that it's funny that he invented the brand of the Quaker Boy game calls, but he could call without a call. But that's a whole nother subject. Okay. All right, you're in the blind. Or you're camoed. You got camo from head to toe. You got your shotgun. You've sighted in. Everything's great. What can go wrong? Well, a lot of things can go wrong, but this is the ideal progression of things to happen that will allow you to have a shot. Got to gobble. You yipped, you cut, you got to gobble. This is what I want you to try. Will it work every time? No. This is what I want you to be cognizant of, what I want you to try. Call, gobble. 10 minutes. If he gobbles again, if you cut, you yip, and he gobbles again, and he's closer this time, then put your call down. You don't need it anymore. He knows exactly where you are, and we're getting into that 50 seconds, that 55 seconds, that 60 seconds. That's where you foul up. Oh, I don't know where he is. I can't see him. Yep. You call again. No, he's probably looking right at you. People are calling here.
Call from
Yeah. Probably somebody wanting to warranty
We can't
a
talk.
car that I sold 6 years ago. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's okay. Somebody trying to make a living, So, the second call, the second gobble, you heard it. He's close. He's coming your way. Now shut up and be still. Put the gun on top of your knee. Okay? And if you need to look from side to side, you look from side to side like this. Not, where is that son of a gun? He's probably looking right at you. He's the number one game animal in North America. Have you sighted in your shotgun? Have you ever missed a turkey? Have you ever had one right in front of you and you missed him? Well, if you haven't, then you just hadn't been enough. It's kind of like the old thing. Have you ever missed a deer? Nope. Well, you just hadn't gone enough. You hadn't been enough times. I've missed one. But, as an excuse, my turkey hunting over the last 30 years is with a CVA muzzleloader. I'm using a bullet instead of a shotgun. So my shot has to be more precise. And voluntarily, I don't shoot them at 60, 70, 80 yards. My target's 35. If I get him in with 35, as far as I'm concerned, my hunt is over. My hunt is fulfilled because the hunt is getting him off the limb, getting him away from the birds, the hens, his friends, and get him to come over to you. Matter of fact, I haven't shot a turkey in 6 or 8 years. One of the reasons I would like for you to take note of during your turkey season this year, number one, you should hunt late in the season. That's the best time. Why? Because the turkey's lonesome. The hens fly down or they go to the nest. They say, hello, how you doing? And then they go to the nest. They're not interested in the gobbler anymore, but he's still interested. So when he hears you and he gobbles back the second time, you just be still because he's headed your way. He's lonesome. He doesn't have any friends, girlfriends. So he's going to come over to you. Last 2 weeks of the season. Now, I want you to be conservative this year. Please be conservative in the number of turkeys that you take. The turkey population is down considerably. So just take one. The rest of them, call them in, spook them. Say hello. Hey, jump up and down and say, I could have shot you, you little rascal. I could have, but I didn't. So, anything going on? Gil's with me. She's right behind.
Just people checking in.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you joining us. Let's see. Oh, I will concede the following because I've done it before. One gobble, 2 gobbles, and he's closer, and I shut up. And you shut up. Quiet. Stop. The next gobble's, he's leaving. What did I do wrong? If he's still gobbling, you didn't spook him. He just decided, I think I'll go elsewhere. Just a little, you're not going to get him now, likely. But here's a tip you can use that worked for me once. Okay, I turned around. Instead of calling back to his gobble, to his invitation, to his communication, I turned and I gobbled that way. Matter of fact, I got up. I took a chance and it worked. I got up and walked 20 or 30 feet and and called the opposite direction. Because I was told, it's not my experience, I was told if you do that, he might say, ooh, I misjudged her. she's leaving now instead of waiting on me. I wanted her to come over to see me, but she's leaving now. Do that, get back and sit down and shut up. It's my experience and the experience of some outstanding turkey hunters that you call 3 times, maybe 4, and then shut up. The biggest mistake you can make is one of the biggest mistakes you can make is calling too much. Don't do that. If you won't, you'll be more successful. Yes, ma'am. Anything?
Seems like a good question to me.
Okay.
If you're hunting in a blind that is a reflective mirror thing, which I've never heard of,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? If the turkey would attack his reflection.
That's a possibility, but so remote as to be non-existent.
Oh.
I would think.
How do you know that?
I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing at all of this stuff. This is not a perfect science. I mean, this is not always, this is the way it's going to happen. No, it's the way that I think that I have learned from other people that will increase your chances. I know I enjoy reading. I think the best writer about turkey hunting is Tom Kelly. I've read all of his books, and it's like poetry, and this idea of the last 50 seconds, I got it from him, not me. I didn't decide that. He did, because he's been hunting turkeys for 50 years, 60 years maybe. I guess Tom's in his 80s now. I hadn't seen a new book in a while, and that's okay. But to me, Tom is a poet and an intellectual and extremely well-read. And if you want to be entertained and learn about turkey hunting, then absolutely you should read Tom Kelly. He started out with a book called I can't remember.
Is it over there?
No, it's upstairs.
Off in the woods?
Off in the woods. Come on, O'Neill. Some of you guys write in right quick and tell me the name of the 10th Legion. The 10th Legion, he published that book himself, so that this was his first book, and this was 35 years ago. And the 10th Legion is referencing a legion of people. See, Romans, he's an intellectual. Romans' 10th Legion was the elite group. That was the elite force. That was the elite soldier. That was the elite of all, is the 10th Legion. And that's what he refers to as turkey hunters, to be a part of the 10th Legion. I think he's written 14, 15, 16 books, all of them outstanding reads. And if you have an opportunity, but where's my book? Oh, it's much better than this. But you can still buy this one, of course, and with 10th Legion. This is O'Neill Outside, 65 years in the outdoors, people and places along the way. You can get it at my website at o'neilloutside.com on the homepage, and if you buy it there, I will personalize it for you. I'll sign it to you and so on. Otherwise, you can buy it at Amazon, and it still sells every week at Amazon, and it's doing okay. Yes, ma'am. Anything?
No.
No. Nobody likes me anymore. Am I?
I don't know.
Should my feelings be hurt?
Could be. Could be.
Have I been on too long? The television show's in its 40th year. The radio show's in its 29th year. And this is in its 3rd or 4th month. I think it's time to, you think it's maybe time to give it up?
It's okay with me.
Well, yeah, could. That's and I will one day. Maybe sooner than I expect.
Yeah.
but people still watch it. The television show's called O'Neill Outside. It's on the Fox Regional Networks nationwide. It's on the VOD. That means Video on Demand Networks, Waypoint TV, Carbon TV, Gone TV, Outdoor Action TV, Prime TV, blah, 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 blah. And you can watch, and you can go to visit. You can visit if you want to watch a show. And this week I was at, what's the name of that place? Not Costco. Where did I go this week one day and bought stuff? Sam's. No.
Walmart.
Costco.
Costco.
I went to Costco. And the guy was checking out. You know, you have to show your receipt. And I was checking out, and he looked at me and said, I know who you are. I thought, uh-oh. He said, I watch your show all the time. He said, I watched the show the other day with you and Travis. And out west somewhere. So, anyway. What did you say about notifications or something? To tell everybody about notifications?
Oh, if you'll click on the notification thing on O'Neill Outside, they will alert you when.
Oh, okay. Notifications on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because that's what you're on.
Okay.
Actually.
Well, some guy, Ken, is saying, don't give up. We need a.
Well, Susan says that only old folks like you.
Only old folks like me?
I think that's what she said.
What?
Yeah, only old people like you.
That hurts my feelings.
Well, she's older than you
Oh,
are.
she sure is, isn't she? Okay. All right. Well, enough about turkey hunting. About be conservative with it. Be conservative with your calling. Limit your calling and hold that last minute. That's when you determine it. And after you've taken one this year, what do you say? Set it aside and don't limit out. Okay, I've only limited it out once in my whole life in Georgia. I shot 3, but that was a big mistake, and I didn't know any better, and I got enthused, and I had some in the blind with me that it was his fault. I'll blame him, and I shot 3 that day. Shouldn't have, but I did. Well, it made me mad. I shot the boss, and the other 2 guys jumped on him. After he fell dead, the other 2 guys jumped on him, and it made me mad. I don't like 2-on-1. And so I shot them too. Susan says she's a lot cuter, and I agree.
Yes.
Okay, well, there you are. Now, springtime fishing. Are all the bass on the bed? Of course not. Only the females are. Here's a tip. Here's a recommendation. If you're in these clear water lakes all over the country and you see a big female on the bed, resist the temptation to catch her. Leave her alone. And you say, well, O'Neill, I've done that before, and I put her back on. She went back to the bed. Are you sure? Of course you're not sure. I mean, unless you're in a tournament and you're set to win 50 grand, don't catch that fish off the bed. Leave her alone. There are plenty of other fish around. There are a lot more males than there are females anyway. Catch them. Leave her alone. Because you don't know that she's going to go back to the bed. You cannot tell. Because when you put her back in, she's going to swim away. She's not going to swim right back to the bed. And if she stays off the bed any length of time, even if she does come back, all the brim are going to eat the eggs anyway. It's time for us to practice a little conservation. After all, you and I, the hunter, the fisherman, the camper, the hiker, we're the ones that pay for conservation. We pay for animals. We pay for the fish in our excise taxes and our permits and license fees and on and on and on. Okay. Springtime fishing. Leave the mama alone. Leave her alone. Number 2. And this is a tip that you have to try, okay? You have to try this to see if it's going to work out for you. The upside is great. Downside, piece of cake, nothing to it. No downside. Because soon as this bedding is over, the bass, male and female, will leave the shallow water, and they'll go out to the points, and they'll go out to the standing trees, and they'll go out to the drop-offs and the old creek channels, clear water, dirty water, it doesn't matter. They'll leave the banks. They're only at the banks a certain time of the year when the water temperature begins at about 58 to 60 degrees, and then when it's about 72, they're done and they leave. So here's something I've told you before, and I want you to try it. It's easy. I'm a deep water bass guy. I think it's my opinion that if you're at a lake, you're bass fishing and the spawn is over and you're casting to the bank. Oh boy, that's a good looking spot. Look, see that brush? See the brush, the overhanging trees? I'll bet there's some bass there. It's not likely that they are. If you're casting to the bank, 90% of the fish are behind you. They're in the creek channels, they're on the points, they're in the stump fields, they're in the standing trees. They're out there behind you. Okay. So how do you catch those fish? You catch them with a spoon. In October, November, December, January, catch them with a spoon. But the plastic worm is the best overall. The plastic worm is the best single category of bait for bass, other than live bait. But I can probably catch more on plastics than you can on live bait because I get to cast to more fish. I get to feel more fish. Okay. So here's a tip, and you got to make yourself do this. You got to make yourself do it. And I was shown this by Mac Farr, Captain Mac Farr. I was demonstrated this at Lake Lanier. Mac had some fish located in the top of a tree, and we're fishing like 30, 40 feet. And Mac set the hook on a fish, on a bass, got a bite, set the hook, and he got off. I guarantee you that your natural inclination is, oh, I lost him. Reel up. Or reel up. Don't do that. Because that fish, you can look at it on the depth finder, that fish was not likely by himself. And when he bit, other ones were there and probably would like to have had an opportunity for a meal also. As a matter of fact, I've reeled up fish before that were hooked and other fish were still with them trying to get that bait. So the next time you gotta promise me, you gotta stick with this long enough to see if I'm right. The next time you're deep water fishing, you get a bite, you set the hook. Up, he got off. Leave it there. Just jig it once. Just, okay. Give it about 10 seconds. Try to imagine this bass bit this plastic worm. He got hooked, or didn't get hooked, but he got off. The plastic worm is still there. And there might be 2 or 3 dozen other bass going, ooh, I wish I had that. I'm hungry too. Give them a chance to bite the plastic worm that fish just did. It works. Now, is it going to mean that you'll catch 50 instead of 5? No. But it might mean that you'll catch 12 instead of 10. It's what's the downside to that? What if he bit and when you set the hook, it ripped the worm off the hook? Okay. What's the harm? Give it 10 seconds and reel up. If the worm is still on the hook, that you missed that fish, then another one we may bite it. Another one may eat that because you're looking at me.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go.
Well, waiting on you to take a breath.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think about all the new electronics and everyone depending on them to catch fish. The live scope I'm referring to.
Okay. All right. I have not used the live scope, the hyper efficient depth finders. I've never used them. My boat, the last boat I had, I did not have one of those. They obviously work. I see on the internet and I see on Facebook and so on, I see these fabulous pictures of these big schools of fish that you can just cast right into. I think it's fabulous. You're not going to hurt the population. If you've got a great depth finder, use it. Yes, ma'am.
But is that fishing? Is that not using your skills to fish?
Well, good question. Question is, does that diminish? Does it heighten your skills, or does it diminish your talents because you don't have to search as much? Basically, I feel like the depth finder is a confirmation. I remember going to a seminar a long time ago. Tom Mann. He was giving a seminar at a boat show, and what he said was, and everybody got a big kick out of the audience because he had invented or put his name on Tom Mann's Humminbird depth finder, and it's still in existence, but it's 100 times better. He said, we catch fish now using this at places that we used to say look good. So those deep water places we fished anyway. We did back in the day that we didn't know exactly what was there, whether it was stripers or whether it was bass, but we knew it was a fish spot because we had fished it before and we had caught fish on it before, and I didn't know because the depth finder tells us now that there's 5 limbs on that tree instead of 4. I know I'm bragging, but I was in a tournament at Lanier one time, and I knew where there was I had practice, and I knew there were some spotted bass in a standing tree. The tree was 20 feet below the surface, and it was 48 feet deep, so the tree stood about 20 feet, and it still had some of the branches on it. It was evidently a hardwood, and I caught 25 in a row out of that, and I didn't use a depth finder at all. The depth finder is a confirmation. They are fabulous. I wouldn't dare put one down. Just fabulous. Absolutely. Anything else, Gail Williams?
No, we have 2 minutes left, so evidently not.
Oh, okay.
We're out.
All right, so we're
going. Now the contest is over.
Contest is over.
Entries
Have
will
you
be
made
considered.
some notes for us? How are you going to do this time?
Our engineer.
Okay.
internet
Here's the works
person.
tool, reciprocating axis, reciprocating saw.
Yeah.
That's what we're about to give
So,
away. All right.
She is monitoring this, and she is going to pull a name. And in just a second, she's going to text me.
Okay.
that
Everybody,
name.
stay right there.
Okay, in the meantime,
Okay.
while I'm waiting on her text, the person that she has selected, she's in Peachtree City, by the way.
Yeah, she's
72
72 miles away from here.
So what you're going to do is whenever she gives me the okay and tells me the person that's winning, you're going to send your information directly to her.
Okay.
And
I hope you guys can hear this.
Okay. You're going to send it to Houston, all lowercase, HOUSTON, at o'neilloutside.com.
Houston. When I give you the name, you, whoever this guy is, send an email to Houston at o'neilloutside.com.
Yeah, give her your address,
And-
and I just got the text, and the winner for this week is
The winner is
Keith Dubois. I don't know how to say
Keith
it.
Dubois.
D-U-B-O-S-E. Keith D-U-B-O-S-E.
D-U-B-O-I-S?
D-U-B-O-S-E.
Dubose.
Dubose. Like
Yeah.
Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
So
Ms. Dubose.
That
Okay.
is the
Keith, you won the reciprocating saw. These things cost like $100, man. But boy, can you imagine?
And
All you do is turn that little blade down like that, and it becomes a jigsaw.
And Keith,
20 volt.
Keith needs to send his contact information to Houston at o'neilloutside.com.
Okay.
There you go.
Keith Dubose won the reciprocating saw by Works. It's a 20 volt battery powered saw. I've used it, and it's funny, it's got a little light on it so that when you're using it as a jigsaw, it lights up the way so you don't cut your fingers off. Yeah.
That's what you would do.
Yeah, well, I'm clumsy. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you learned something today, or you can, you don't have to learn anything. You can eliminate some of the things that I tell you. Say, that knucklehead, that won't work. Good grief. I'm not going to listen, but you can watch every week and make fun of me. How about that? So our winner this week is Keith Dubose. Dubose.
Yes.
Send an email to Houston at o'neilloutside.com.
I hope he's still listening.
Me too. If he's not, we won't give it away.
Well, he has to send us the information if he wants it.
Yeah, if you want the saw.
Yeah.
Last week, saw got to that guy, man, he loves it. There was a guy in
He's
Florida.
already gotten it?
Yeah.
Whoa. Somebody's
And he sent me
involved.
somebody sent an email.
Somebody.
And somebody else is saying, congratulations, Keith.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. This, this O'Neill thing. It's going to end one day. It's going to be sad.
Oh,
isn't it?
no, people don't want you to hear that.
Sad.
They already said they don't want to hear that.
Okay.
So just keep
All right.
hanging around.
The weather's beautiful. The best thing for you to do is enjoy it. Go outside. Go fishing. Go turkey hunting. And if you're too busy to go fishing and not take a child along, then you're too busy. Did I say that right?
I think so. Yeah.
If you're too busy to go fishing and take a child along, then you're too busy. I didn't say that originally. That's why I forgot it. I think it was
Well, you've said
Mark,
it enough.
Mark Twain.
You've said it enough over the years. That's for sure.
That's enough. Toodaloo, everybody. We'll see you next week, 6:30 Monday night.